Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is we are going to take Embrilliance and we're going to start to split the designs, because I know there's lots of software that you can use to split designs, but in the old days we didn't have that software. In fact, the first software I ever had was called Embird, and it was very, very basic. And I still managed to split designs with it using the color function. In the old days, I just had Embird, and it was just simply a stitching simulator. I could go in it, I could see how it stitched out, I could change colors. It really couldn't size it, because in the older days, when you had sizing software, it would literally size it. So if it was this big and it had 100 stitches and you made it this big, it still only had 100 stitches. It didn't compensate for the change in stitch count, or nowadays the software does. So this is originally from the old Designers Gallery Colorworks, where you had a sewing simulator. If your sewing simulator has a stop button in it, meaning that it will insert a color stop, you can do this on any software. So right now I know you can do it on Colorworks if you have the old Designers Gallery stuff. You do it on Embroidery Works, which is also Designers Gallery. What do they call it? It was Embroidery Works every day. What I'm using is Embrilliance in Essentials. It's different than Enthusiast. Essentials has the sewing simulator. You can do it on Embird. I think you can do it on Floriani. You could do it on Masterworks. You could do it on a bunch of stuff. I haven't done it on Palette, but I imagine you can, because there is a sewing simulator, and I think you can insert a color stop. And that's the secret, is being able to insert a color stop. I've got 3 different designs that we're going to tear apart, because inevitably you can buy a collection of designs and they have a lot of pieces in there, but there's always part of it like, yeah, I'd like it to do just a little bit more. I'd like to break it up, or I'd like to combine it, change the direction, do all kinds of things. No collection is complete for everybody. So this is going to show you how to take apart pretty much any design, and how to analyze a design to see if it's going to be easy or not. Because yes, you can take any design apart, but it may or may not be easy to do so. So I'm going to show you how we're going to take them apart. So here's a design that you want to, first of all, have. It's, like I said, it's important to have a sewing simulator. And my sewing simulator is up here. So I'm using the Embrilliance Essentials. And there's different ways to run the play. You've got play buttons here, and this regulates the speed of the play. You also have a slider bar, and that's what I'm going to use as a slider bar, because I want to analyze how this is put together. So let's just say I just wanted this one here, this dragonfly, and I'm not sure if I want this stuff in the back or not. So let's just see how it goes. And so I'm going to slowly come through here. Okay, now see these little gaps? If this is all I wanted to isolate, I've got a problem here, because it has been digitized with gaps, and I can't put things back in this software. So, okay, let's just say, keep on going. I'm going to analyze how it's going to go. Okay, here's that. Say same thing with the top curly Q. It has gaps. That means something is being stitched over it. So this is probably not a piece I want to isolate. Okay, okay, so far so good. Okay, now it's jumped down to the bottom part of the dragonfly. Okay. And so you see it's jumping from one piece to the other. Okay, now dealing with gaps, I could isolate this top one all by itself fairly easily. And I believe the same is with the dragonfly at the bottom. Okay, let's just say all I want is this piece up here. So now this, where it has a stop sign, that's going to insert a color stop. You have your objects window over here that says, here it's showing the different colors. and what parts either you want to keep or you don't want to keep. Let's just say all I want is that top butterfly. Well, I know I don't need that part. And as I click on it in the objects box, it's showing me, okay, this part. All righty, I don't want that. So all I have to do is hit the delete key and that part's gone. Okay, this top curly Q, all I have to do is hit the delete key and it's gone. Now I have two different butterflies without any of the curly cues. And if I want, say, just this top one, I don't want the bottom, or I want to separate them. All right, let's just concentrate on what is being stitched at the top. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Oh, here we go. I'm going to back up because I'm going to just isolate the top part stuff. So when I have it really close, then I'll use the little arrow keys to go back and forth until you see those the little crosshairs scoot up to the top. Then I'm going to hit the stop button. And then I'm going to just pick another color. I'll just pick a dark color. And that means everything else is going to change color after. Okay, so now what we have noticed, it's the 1, 2, 3, it's the fourth color stop right here that we have isolated. Okay, so now it's a different color. So I can just take that part out and continue stitching. Let's see, we got that part, we're good, we're good. Here we go. And it looks like it's, is this by itself? Yep, that next green is by itself. I can take that out. Okay, what's the next thing down? That also, the boxes around the bottom part, I can just hit delete to take that out. Sometimes this, now, see when I go on the next one and I see the box around both of them, that means that part of it is going to have to be split again. So let's go ahead and stitch. We're good there. That's the third color stop. The fourth color stop, I think also can come out. Okay, so I think this fourth one can come out. Nope, it can't. That means there's something up there. Okay, let's find it. Okay, beige is good. I've lost the, here it is. Here's my cursor. Here's the beige. And the, oh, there's a little bit of green there. See it at the top? Just a little bit of detail work. Okay. We'll get that. Same thing on the other side. Now it's jumped down. So I'm going to back up using the arrow keys. Here's the cursor down in the bottom, or about 2/3 of the way down. I'm backing up till that cursor jumps up to where I no longer want it, and I hit the stop key. I'll just change it to a different color so that I can recognize. And now I know this blue part right here is isolated. I can delete it. What's next here? Let's a pink. That pink is okay. That's at the top. That's the fifth color stop. I'll keep moving on down. Okay, sixth color stop is okay. It's where I want it to go. So is that one. 7 is good. 8 is not good, but it is only in the bottom, so I can just hit the delete key. 8 is, that's good. And so now I have an isolated design. So usually what I would do here is just simply select it. And I just want to select the whole thing and just put it in the middle of the hoop. I'm just going to put it in the middle. Okay, and then save it. You save it as a different file name. So it'd be file, save as, and I'll just save it Dragonfly 1. 1. Okay. And then I could come back and take that back. Oh, I don't want that one. I want to go back and open dragonflies again. And that is There's the all the dragonflies. Okay, and if I want it, and then I would do the same thing if I wanted to isolate the bottom dragonfly. It'd be the same thing. You just start stitching it until you see, okay, I don't want that, don't want, oh, here we go. This is where I would split it. I'm not going to split this one, but this is a nice exercise to try. That's one of the easier ways. Now let's go to this next one, which is got some easy parts too. This one comes from, this is an old, that first design came from the old Embroidery Works, and it was a course that I took through Baby Lock, so that design is no longer available either. But there's lots of similar ones. This design came from Embroidery Library. It's no longer available because it was out since 2006. And this is one that I took apart years ago. And we're going to turn this one into something totally different. And this came from a collection called A Christmas Song. And it was from Embroidery Library. He said it's no longer available, but after a while you have so many designs, you don't need any more. You just take apart. Say, I don't want this. I didn't want it for Christmas. I want to use this for something else. I might even want to turn it into a frame around a monogram for like a tea towel or something. So first thing I'm going to do is let's take a look at see how it stitches out. So I'm going to just slowly go along, and I think I'm going to, okay, that looks good. It looks like this one's fairly simple. What I don't want is this middle stuff. Okay, I don't want any of that stuff in the middle. Okay, I want to, going to bring down my, hit the plus button on my object menu bar, which is over in the upper right-hand corner. And I'm just going to find the parts I don't want and just start hitting the delete key until I see what I do want to keep. I don't want that. And there's a piece in the middle here. Don't want that. And I don't want the snowflakes either. I don't want this for Christmas. I'm going to turn it into something different. Okay, I see a few little problems here. Not too much. I don't think I want the leaves on the inside. And there's this strange little line there that I don't want. So I'm going to let it stitch, and I'm going to leave that. Okay, I'm going to leave that, and here's that blue. Let's get rid of that little line first. Let's find it. Okay, no, not yet. Okay, where are you? Up there it is. Okay, going to back up. Okay, I think I can hit a stop. And I'm going to, wait a minute. It didn't go. I went back to the beginning. Cancel here. I lost my cursor. Oh, there it is. And there we go. I wanted the beginning of the cursor. Here we go. Okay, stop. Change the color to, I don't know, anything. Purple's good. All righty, so there should be, there's a little purple box. See, it was the last stitching. So that little purple piece, we don't need that. And I'm noticing it's not causing a gap, so we're still good to go. And I want to get rid of these little bits too. And I don't think I want the green. Green underneath, we don't need that. I'll get rid of that green. Don't need, just one color is good enough. Okay, but I want to get rid of these little bits right here too. So the same thing, I'm going to find the start and the stop of each section. So here we go, we're good. Whoop, wait a minute. Yep, there it is. Okay, gets rid of that. Okay. And just go back a little bit. Oop, too far. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. So I hit the stop key and I will change it to purple. Okay, so now notice everything else is now purple. So we're going to go back and see where it ends. We got the beginning. And here's the end of it. Oops, too far. Okay, now it's going to go back into the swirl. There. Just right at the beginning of it. And hit the stop again. And because I don't want to go hunting for colors, I would hit this word palettes. That shows me what's in there already, so I can switch it back to the other color now. And okay, so now we have that little bit. Okay. Say goodbye. There it is. Okay, and now we'll go ahead and we'll get the other part. There is the beginning of it. Back up, back up, back up. A little more. Now these arrow keys right here next to the blue bar, take it forward and back one stitch at a time. Okay, so now I'm going to change colors. Oh, let me go back to threads. Okay. And now we've got purple again. So I'm going to go find the ending of that piece of thread work that I don't want. Here's the beginning. Oh, too far. Now I'll back up using the arrow keys. There, that looks good. Stop. Palettes. And now I am. Now we'll put the rest of it back to blue and I'll take out the purple part. Okay, now that's, oh, see, I got one little stitch I missed. Okay, so I'm going to go in and get it. There's that one little stitch. And stop. And a color. And then get it again. So we're isolating it like parentheses. And back. Stop. And go back to the blue. And take out that little teeny bit. Where'd it go? There it is. One little stitch. Okay, now it's perfect. So now I want to do something else with this. So I'm going to hit the select key, which is over here, right at the top near the preferences. I'm just going to select it. Okay, and I'm going to duplicate it or copy it. Okay, and I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to rotate it. Here's the rotate key. And I want to rotate one. And move it over here, maybe a little. Come on, I lost it. There we go. A little bit more tilt and line. I could also use those lining keys, but there we go. All right, and see, that doesn't fit in hoop, nor is it oriented like I want it either. Now I could also have both of these selected and group them together. So I could use my utility, and I think there is a group in here somewhere. Group. Okay, I can group them. Then I have to worry about them separating. And now I can rotate this however I want it to look. Get it sort of even like that. Or I could have it go the other way. And like it's too big for my 5x7 hoop. So guess what? I can now shrink this down. Gives me an interesting. And let's see, do we look anything like? Oop, too far. That a little bigger. When I can't get that, I use my compass rose and put ask for selection, and it makes it as big. Okay, that looks good. Now I've got something that looks completely different than what it was before. So I can use this as a monogram. I can go ahead and put in a letter. And then I'm just going to use an A. And I think I want something prettier. Which one would look good? That's the problem. Sometimes you have too many fonts and you don't know what you want. Okay, I'll pick this one. Okay, I'll make it bigger because it's too small. Put it in the middle. And you know what? I don't like this little thing in the corner. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to use my sewing simulator and pull it out. I know it's all the way over here. Let's see where it, there it is. Yeah, I could isolate it again. So I'll go find the beginning of where it does that little curly Q up, or that little spiky thing. Stop. Change the color to that color. Okay, that's good. And then go back and find the ending of it. Oops. This one is disjointed. It's in a couple spots. Okay, there's the bottom of it. Stop. Take that back to purple. And I should have a little bit of it out. Where it is. There we go. Come on, come down. We'll keep going. Okay. It doesn't want to let me have it. Okay, you know what? Yeah, you can do it. I just have to find out where it is. This color. Right in there. There it is. See there, it did show it. And now I just delete that part. It's still there, so I've got to go back and find some more. Okay, it's still there. All it did affect was the underlayment there. Okay, here we go again. Up and turn it blue. Okay, come and isolate it. Sometimes you have to do this a couple of times. There is times where this turns out to be a lesson in patience. There it is, too far. And stop again. Okay, oh, one more time, I guess. Oh, I didn't take that out. There's that little spiky. This is all underlayment. It all seems to be attached, doesn't it? Oop. Go back some. And finally, the last little spike. And blue. And hopefully the last time, run it through and okay. Stop again and turn it back to this color. All righty, and there's that last little bit out. Okay, now I have a nice rounded top like I want. And do I necessarily have to have that? But no, you may want to. And so now it looks completely different. Or actually, yeah, I took that little spike that was bothering me, and now I have a different font. This is one where this software is allowing you to take it apart. Sometimes these designs have locks in them. For instance, let's go to a new screen. And I'm going to pick something that was a free download from the Embrilliance people, which was this design. And okay, and see it brought it in here, but I can make it, I can size it, but the problem is notice I only have one color, one nothing. It doesn't allow it to break it down like I want it to. Can we do the same thing? Yes, we can. We would run the sewing simulator, stitch simulator, and they're there. They're just in funny places. So I will hit this one. I don't want that. I don't want that or that. All I want is a scroll. Don't want those. And I don't want those. Okay, that, see where that green is? I'm not looking at the upper left one scroll because all I want from this is the scroll. So I'm going to advance forward until, or back now, until I see the beginning of the scroll. And it's off, hit a stop. And I'm going to just make it some other color. I'll make it yellow. Okay. Now it breaks down for me. Okay, so these are the first parts. I don't want that one. It broke it down for me. And here's the parts I'm taking out. Now, all I want is this upper left-hand scroll. I only want one. Say I want to use this in the sashing of a quilt or on some straps or on the top of a pocket or something that I want this shape somewhere else. So let's take a look at how this stitches out. Okay. All right. Again, it's going to split into different spots. Okay. Go forward until it's out. Oop, too far. It's going down. Split. I'm going to split it into a different color. Oh, probably make it yellow or whatever. There we go. Yellow's good. Okay. And now we've got to find where the yellow goes back into that upper quadrant. Okay. Oh, here we go. So it's yellow's in the upper section. I need to get rid of that. And split here. And go back to a green. Okay. And so I think I can get rid of the yellow. Yep, we can get rid of that yellow. Come over here and get rid of the yellow. We're good. Got that. It's all this one section. That completes it. Okay, now it's going back down. So as it goes to the rest of the design, and stop again. Go back to this original palette color. Okay, and it looks like I can get rid of all the rest of this. Well, let's double check. I'm going to run it through the sewing again to see if any more parts go into it. No. Okay, we're good. Now I can take that out. And now I have a piece here that I can manipulate, turn it into a border. See, now it's a nice continuous border that you could use as a continuous border. Real easy to do. Next thing is let's go back to opening this one. Now, this one, I'm just going to use the elements of the Enthusiast to do the same thing, but you're going to see I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So I'm going to start out the same way. Oh, undo. I don't want, wrong one. Got rid of wrong one here. Okay. I don't want that or that. Whoa. Wait a minute. Here we go. Or hit print screen instead of the delete. More delete. And delete the flowers. Okay. One way that's now the shortcut is if I'm going to zero in, I'm going to zero in and make it a little bigger so I can see. Okay. now I can use the stitch function that is in the Enthusiast, which is the advanced level of editing. So I can now lasso the pieces I don't want and hit delete. And it's getting rid of all of the colors. I cannot even corral right. Here we go. I can't draw a circle around that. There we go. And then I could even so much as hit my control. I hit a node. It's in the stitch mode, which is this little icon here. So if you have Enthusiast, you'll have that. Otherwise, you won't. And then I can just select, hit the control key and select a bunch of them at a time and hit delete. Delete. Or go even closer. Sometimes it's easier to go closer. And I can turn 3D off and I can really see where the nodes are. So I can take all of these nodes and see they're all turning dark. Delete a bunch at a time or one stitch at a time. And one more. Okay. And see, that gets rid of all of it. And I could then now scoot down here. Come down here. And take the lasso and let's see if I can get closer. Let's go all the way around and delete. This is a lot faster.
Geri, is the reason you couldn't do that on the previously was because you had a different program?
Right. The Enthusiast,
Okay.
the Advanced Embrilliance, the Essentials is where you have to do it in ColorWorks. This just,
Okay.
not like say all of these. I want to get rid of all of these all at one time. Didn't get rid of that one. This I call it digitizing, and if you can't get rid of it, you move it over here. Then I'll get rid of it. And I will lasso that. And it's just available. I don't, if you can do it in ColorWorks, by gosh, that is definitely the way to do it. Okay, and now we'll bring it back to regular. And now when we run the sewing simulator, it only has the two colors and stitches all the green. The last one I didn't leave the green in, I took it out. And there, see, it stitched it out really well. Oops, I didn't go all the way. Yeah, that was all of it. It looks different because it's not in 3D. Here, put the 3D in and it looks the same. And we can do the same thing here. Let's see, scoot down and make it a little bit smaller. And now it's showing a jump stitch, but you know, it won't stitch that. So like I said, you can do a lot of editing with simply what I call the ColorWorks portion of it. And that's mostly how I do it. Even if I'm using the atomic level, which is from Enthusiast, where I can get to each stitch point, I will mostly likely try to do it first in ColorWorks because it's simpler and you have less problems. And you first, no matter what, you've got to see how it stitches out. Because not all designs are going to work well for a stitch out, because like that first one with the dragon, go back to the regular dragonfly. Here's the regular dragonflies. So not all of it would be appropriate. Like if I just wanted to move these spots out of here, I can't. Like if I take this and this and I move them, now they're grouped. Ungroup. If it doesn't let you do something, you just hit all of them and then you go to edit, ungroup all. There, now you can get to your parts. Like these first two parts, if I wanted to, you know, isolate them, See, they have holes in them. So that means something's on top and you can't really fix that. Not, at least not in this program. Can you fix it? Yes, it isn't easy. So let's just, like, if I wanted to fix that, with that, I have to have the enthusiast, because I have to go to the atomic level in order to fix it. So I'm just saying I'm going to fix this little gap right here. Where is it? Okay. Okay, and I'm going to go to stitch mode, and I'm going to come out of 3D and go into stitches. And see, I've got all these little nodes. In order to fix that, I have to find the nearest node, and it's, let's see, insert before. Let's try insert before. And you have to do this. Put them back one stitch at a time. And you can never go as good as originally digitized. Okay, did it fix it? Yeah, it's a little lumpy, but you get the idea. It isn't easy to fix things. I want to go back to out of stitch mode. Come on out. There. See, I was able to fill in the gap, but it isn't easy. I'd have to now come back and fix this so that it looks nicer. Can it be done? Yes, but that's even more tedious. That you're fixing this design one stitch at a time. And I have done that before. It wasn't fun, but I have done it before. So it's easy to split designs. I think, I don't know if you guys ever saw the latte quilt. Years and years ago, we had the latte quilt, which is by Geri Hay. It's all embroidery. It is nothing but embroidery. And I had a little baby lock Esprit, which did 4 by 4 inches, and this quilt was huge. And it was written for the Elagio, which was a 6 by 10 field at a time, and I literally used this color work to pull those designs into 4 by 4 inch sections using Embird, because we didn't have Designer's Gallery at the time. And I did it. I learned an awful lot. I also learned I never wanted to do that again. Whose quilt was done first? Mine. Mine was done, and that quilt won. I think I won 2 or 3 quilt show awards. It got a best of show at one. It was one of my first quilts. It was quilted horribly because all I knew how to do was stipple, and I didn't even know how to do it very well. But yet I put that in a show because I was too stupid to know it was really awful. It's a huge quilt. The center medallion was 32 hoopings. I had bruises on my hands trying to hoop it. But I learned an awful lot about how to stitch, because you learned, that's where I say you have to learn how to think like a sewing machine to be a good digitizer or to be any kind of digitizer. Okay, guys, I will see you next week. If you have any questions, send me an email at waltzquilt@yahoo.com, and I'll be happy to answer them anytime. I will see you. Bye.